Howdy, folks. Welcome to Grounded, a HomeLand Properties Roundtable podcast, where we discuss land, timber, real estate, and everything in between.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Grounded. We've got some great folks here with us today. This is going to be episode 14, believe it or not. I can't believe we have that many episodes. That's pretty incredible. I'm excited to talk about IFCO Seedlings. But yeah, so we've got two special guests with us today. Jeff Cravey with us. We've got my mother, Jan Cox. She's works here at HomeLand Properties. She's actually got a master's degree in horticulture. I guess was a master gardener and had her own little gardening show on TV. So we're excited to have her here as well with her wisdom. And we're gonna kind of talk everything IFCO and seedlings and planting them and all that good stuff. So we're gonna get into it.
It's a very interesting subject.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yep. So you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself, IFCO, and all that good stuff?
I was a consulting forester for like 29 years. And then I resigned right at 10 years ago and I started selling seedlings for IFCO. IFCO last year got bought out by a Canadian company called PRT. So now we're PRT IFCO.
Okay.
So we do 330 million trees southeast area, what you'd call the southeast region, and probably about 300 million more up in Canada and northwest into Canada and Oregon. So we do like 660 million trees per year across the nation.
That's a lot. And so what are y'all planting in Canada? I mean, is it just...
Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about Canada.
Yeah.
There's a lot of firs.
Sure.
Douglas fir probably be one, depending on the altitude.
Sure.
Spruce.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about that operation. I don't plan on going up there.
Yeah.
Oregon would be the same way.
Yeah.
I didn't even visit those when I was in Oregon, so I was wanting to, but I didn't.
So what area do you cover?
The Western Gulf, which is west of Mississippi. So I handle Arkansas, a little bit of Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and a tad bit of Mississippi.
Work out of two different nurseries. There's one in DeRidder, and the other one's somewhere in
Shabbuda, Mississippi.
Shabbuda, Mississippi.
Yeah, an Indian name. So I'm in charge of roughly 50s, about 75 to 77 million. Yeah. I watch that inventory. This time of the year, we're taking orders for next year.
Yeah.
And we're getting those orders in spreadsheets, distributing the seed out right now. We're taking the seed out of the freezer, we'll strat it, and then start sowing it in about a month. And we're also shipping everything out that we grew last year.
And can you explain stratification?
Taking the seed and putting it in water for about a couple hours, and then taking it out, putting it in a cooler so it gets cooler, and they flip it every so often.
So it's like a cold stratification.
It softens the seed, so we'll get better germination.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just more for successful germination.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool.
You can't just take a seed and throw it in dirt and expect it to grow. Even because if you think about it, during the wintertime, the fall is when the seed gets dropped out and it gets cold. It germinates possibly later this month or so, and it's already had rain. It has cold.
Right.
So we're
recreating
that strat. That's what we're doing.
It's pretty neat stuff. Absolutely. Can you kind of go into a little bit, I guess, I want to talk about Funga, kind of a short version of start to finish, I guess, if you will, on y'all's end.
Yeah, we partnered with a group out of Austin, Texas. It's called Funga. They do a mycorrhizan. So throughout the southeast, from Virginia to Florida all the way to Texas, they pulled all the mycorrhizan that's beneficial to loblolly. And there's a combination of think maybe 4 or 5 mycorrhizan that's beneficial to the loblolly pine.
Explain what a mycorrhiza is.
It's a fungus in the ground. Yeah. It's a little fungus in the ground. It's symbiotic relationship. Yeah. Symbiotic relationship between trees and the ground. You always have to have fungus. Yeah. If you're missing a fungus, it may not grow as well as they want. But so the project is they're growing all the fungus in certain places that they harvest it, and they put it on our trees, which causes the trees to actually have all the fungus that they need to have a symbiotic relationship as they plant it. So as it goes back out, you have all the fungus you need, and you believe in that relationship. It was kind of funny, I didn't really understand it because Forrester. I grew up in the 80s, so I went to college in the 80s. We knew about fungus, but we didn't know about fungus like we do today.
Right.
So the first thing I did is research it before I started selling it. Mm-hmm. And it really is, there's a lot to it. I started with National Geographic, of course. They had a great article in it. I just read it and so there's a lot to this. So the site prep by its nature will kill everything, as you guys know. But what we really wanted to do is create a catastrophic event to replant trees. Mm-hmm. So they spray it, they burn it, and nothing's alive, including the root system, which kills also the fungus, supposedly. Huh. And I don't know for sure because I can't see it.
Sure.
So, but if you replace it right away, the tree has everything it needs to get all the nutrients and everything it's at. Yeah. That's why they may not work sometimes with fertilization.
So these fungi are in the soil.
Yeah.
Not on the tree bark or anything.
No, it's in the soil.
Yeah. And they help, like you said, it's a symbiotic relationship. Mm-hmm. They help provide nutrients and water and things to the tree, to the roots of the tree.
Exactly. And the tree gives it carbon.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of they effectively communicate. These trees communicate with each other through the mycorrhizae, right? And then this one over here may be struggling and be deficient in, this nutrients. Well, this one's got an excess of it, and it can send it over to that tree. But that's
quite fascinating.
Everything you see up top with the leaves, everything's happening down below too. Everything you see up top happens below. Yeah. But it's different. It's totally different with the mycorrhiza and everything. So the mycorrhiza, so we're putting that on it if the client wants it, but there is a catch. It's for carbon. And whatever the mycorrhiza grows excess of is what the carbon that the Funga company wants. Yeah. So if you get a 10% growth or a bump on the mycorrhiza, you still get $9 per year for 25 years. Yeah. Starting at age 3 all the way to 25, you can go up to 30. Yeah. But you'll be in a long-term relationship with Funga for 30 years.
So basically, you're partnering with them, and in turn, you're allowing, them to, I guess, what's the correct term?
They treat our trees when it's spore season. Spore season, I didn't know this. It's in the fall. So they throw the spores on the top of the tree and takes it into the container tree. You can only do it in container, because if you did it in bare root, you would just leave the dirt there. You shake them and you still don't have the dirt. Right. But it works in container tree. The exciting thing is they got a new customer or a new client, and they've decided that they want this to go out big. So if you plant a bare root tree, historically, you can upgrade for free to a container. If you plant a container, you can upgrade to a CMP for free and still get the $9 per year.
If you're doing the whole carbon with,
if you want to do the funga, yeah.
So just for our viewers, the spores are basically the seed of the fungus.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Spore, and it floats out. So I guess the mushrooms that you see that come up and they spore out. Yep. Apparently the loblollies during the fall. I don't know. I guess all fungus is in the fall. I don't know. I just don't know.
I think so. I think that would be correct.
Yeah. Let's try.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's basically it. And if you don't want to do the fungus deal but you still be in a 25 to 30 year contract, you can get your seedlings for free and plant them. Yeah. That's a fun thing we got going on right now.
That's pretty neat stuff. I'm gonna kind of change directions a little bit. What are the type of seedlings y'all are offering now? I mean, it's all containerized? Y'all do have some bare roots?
We have bare root, which is grown in the ground. You dig them up and you put them in bags, and about 800 to 1,000 a bag. The history of IFCO getting bare root, they were when I started, we had 2 container facilities and 1 in South Florida. So we basically had 3 container facilities, and we sold only container, but Weyerhaeuser decided to sell a lot of their stuff. So our owner at the time, Patrick Mobley, decided to buy 4 bare root nurseries because we wanted to get in that market. Yeah. And we sort of, Yeah, because there's a lot of people we didn't have business with because they bought our container, but they didn't buy our bare. We didn't have bare root to sell, so it went hand in hand. So we picked up 4 facilities. Then we picked up another facility from a helicopter company, I believe it or not. And it was an old Champion legacy. So we have 5 bare root facilities.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
So.
And what about, okay, so you've got your bare root seedlings. I know we know you've got your containerized, but like, is there different genetic, I guess?
There's 3 genetic levels. Select is our lowest level. It costs a little less. It has a problem with either large limbs or it doesn't grow as much as the higher end. You got an advance, which might have a fusiform rust problem or a canker problem or something like that, limb problem. And then you have elite, which has the highest growing availability, which is be above 45% of what the original thing is. The original, in order to say this, I got to go all the way back to the 60s. Back in the 60s and 70s, we had foresters shoot pine cones out of the trees to get the very first selection. So the very first selection, and then they put out all that selection, and the very best of that selection would be the trees that would be the first generation. Then the first generation would become the second generation. Just look at time. And now we're pushing towards the third in the Western Gulf and the fourth in the Eastern trees. So that original, those trees, when you measure it, is against that original seed lot with those guys who shot those trees. So that is the original percentage that comes from that.
And so y'all are
stock, basically.
Yeah, and y'all are on your what, I guess, generation? Is it third? Fourth. Oh, you did say
fourth
fourth
in the
generation.
East and third in the
Okay.
West.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I think Texas A&M is going to release the third in the next year or so.
Yeah.
So we can start putting that soil material into our grafts, which will be our orchard.
Awesome.
Which, if you want, that's where we get our pine cones in our orchard. So we graft that particular soil material, full sib family, and it grows for that tree because we know what that tree will grow and be like.
Yeah.
So when you talk about grafting, so basically you're taking one plant that has maybe a really great root system.
Yeah.
And you are attaching another plant that has a wonderful top. Maybe it grows straighter, has
better
less
genetics.
limbs,
Exactly.
And
so we usually take
grafting.
on loblolly, we usually take a slash pine, which it grows in a lot of sand and stuff. And we take the loblolly, the guys graft it with, they cut it and graft it, and each cambium layer gets covered and it just starts taking off. And I think Justin Floyd is our nursery, our orchard manager, and I think his percentage rate of grafting is like 98%.
Wow.
He
That's
does
incredible.
really good.
Yeah.
They have to be really good.
He's the brains behind the operation.
Yeah, he's the brains, but he's definitely the grafter.
What's fascinating is, we graft roses and fruit trees and
Crepe
all
myrtles,
kinds of things. But to think that since 1960, it's a very slow process.
Yeah, it's very slow.
If we are just on the third or fourth generation since 1960, which is fascinating. It takes a long time to get all this research.
To the data, to get it right.
When you have to observe, because I mean, the trees have to grow to a certain age, and then you're observing, the features of the crown, the straightness of the,
originally they just looked at tons per acre per year.
Oh, really?
And they brought it all up. They brought the tons per acre per year up. So they really didn't care about what the wood quality is. But then the people in the co-op said, no, we care a little bit more about other things too, because we have different products besides pulpwood. And you guys know pulpwood, the industry's gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, substantially.
Mills and stuff. So IFCO's, we're encouraged to do a lot of whole tree grading, and that's what we focus on: limb angle, tons per acre per year, but also the size of the crown. Because if you have large crowns, you have a lot of ice damage.
Right.
You have a moderate crown
or wind damage potentially.
Yeah, wind. Anytime it gets heavy, it can blow over. So you just have more problems. So you have smaller limbs. You don't.
Yeah. Well, I remember it was, I guess that was 4 or 5 years ago when we had that real bad ice storm and the snow and all that. was at Snowmageddon, and I mean there was
2011.
we had a 150 acre tract of just 6-month-old freshly thinned pine plantation, and I mean we ended up having to just start over on it.
Yeah.
So that's very important to make sure that you've got that smaller crown on there to help.
And the co-ops too also looks at zero temperature. So there's some trees you can't move north where they originate. So one originates from Polk County.
Mm-hmm.
It won't go up to North Arkansas because it would die the first year because of the cold. So we have zero temperatures that we watch, and I move the genetics north and south, or I keep it where it needs to be, or east and west. I keep it where it's supposed to be.
Which is, so it's like it's all loblolly, but there are different variations of loblolly that can handle colder temperatures or drier or potentially wetter.
Understand we had probably hundreds of families of loblolly.
Yeah,
and
that's incredible.
Some people can go through a stand and tell you what the family of loblolly is. There's lots of geneticists that can do that.
Yeah,
I'm getting okay at it, but I'm not good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's neat.
And that brings me to another point. One thing we got excited going on. I went and met with a client who wanted to go with us, and he was a first-year client this year, and they actually have a shiplap company, and he said, I'd like to recreate this stand because we have a whole lot of different waste. So I went and shot needles out of a tree with Justin Floyd, and we collected all the needles. We shot 30 trees. Out of those 30 trees, we, after taking the needles and send it to our geneticist, he grinds them all down, sends it to a lab in Gainesville, Florida, and we actually traced the genetic of both families 27 times out of the 30.
Wow. So
we know who the mom is. We know who the dad is for that particular stand. So we're going to recreate it for that company.
That's pretty incredible. That's
that we can get that.
Yeah.
But it was in the co-op, so we had the markers to trace it. So it was neat. And I thought we could, but now I know we can.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody has done that.
I mean,
I haven't heard of anybody ever doing that.
I feel like that kind of opens up a whole new avenue. I mean, you're tailoring genetics for a specific
product.
Yeah.
But I think we can actually improve on it. I think because I shot it as excellent trees, good trees, and average trees. So I took the very best trees and shot them and kept collecting needles and went through the whole process.
Yeah.
The 3 that were not the family was all over the place. And one family that I did not expect wound up being in an excellent category. So I think I can improve by taking that one tree that I know is the mom with the very best of what I know is the very best, and even giving them a better stand than they actually want.
Wow.
But I got to learn about that other tree first.
Yeah. Take a little time to kind of get that all.
I'm meeting with Fred Rayleigh with Texas A&M, talk about that tree.
Yeah. Sweet.
And go from there.
That's exciting.
Yeah. That's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating.
It is. You know how many people just think, oh, you just go plant pine trees.
Yeah. That's it. You're done.
A whole lot more to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I tell when I'm at a club or a place. I said, you spend more time thinking about what roses and azaleas and bushes you're going to put around your house. But that does last a long time. But this is an investment of 25 to 50 years, and you don't care what pine tree you're planting. You need to figure out what you got.
I mean, because that tree is inevitably at some point going to be the
your money,
the framing on your house too. I mean, in the I guess grand scheme of things, but yeah, your money, your I mean, there's so much stuff that it's going to be used for in the future. Pretty cool stuff.
And you don't want to plant something that's going to grow pulpwood for you,
right? Because
the pulpwood is going to bring you the less money.
Yeah.
So you want something that's going to ease into saw timber for you.
Yeah.
As quick as you can get it there.
Yeah. Can you talk about the growth? So like I know I've seen some pictures of you standing next to a loblolly that's I think 1 or 2 years old, and it's 6 foot tall. What are the growth rates on some of these trees that y'all are seeing now?
That's probably about what you see.
Yeah.
And really the growth rates on the elite trees you'll have 1 or 2 that'll grow up higher and stuff. But there's two types of trees that we sell, open pollinated, which is, all the yellow stuff that gets on your car, it gets into pine cones and it breeds the tree.
Yeah.
And then we have close controlled mass pollinated, like CMP, where we actually bag the flowers and then put the pollen we want, so we know what the mom and the dad is.
Yeah.
And we do it before the little flower opens, and do that. And that
Yeah.
Justin does that. He has about 3 to 5 days to do that throughout the whole orchard. So everybody has to go to
all
work.
hands on deck.
But
yeah.
good thing for him is Slash comes in at a different time. Loblolly families come in at a different time. And Longleaf, we don't breed. So
it works out.
It works out for him.
Yeah.
But he still has to organize a lot of
stuff.
stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
I don't want his job. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's just all hands on deck. And he's getting ready to do that now.
Yeah.
And pretty soon what is it, February? Yeah, late February, you'll see your cars will start getting yellow. Sorry, but your cars will get yellow.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah. Another exciting thing we've got going on is PRT IFCO wanted a environmentally friendly box. The boxes we got now are great. They're wax coated and they don't give. They hold the trees really well.
Holds moisture in too, right?
Is that kind of moisture, but it protects it from all the weather. It's a petroleum product of that wax on it. So they wanted a more environmentally friendly box that's not white. They wanted a friendly box. So I actually approached a guy from Green Bay Packaging, which is a client of ours in Morrilton, Arkansas, and they have some sawmills in it and a pulpwood mill. So they had a box company in Conway, Arkansas that fixed our box, environmentally friendly, and they sent it to us I think it was last week. Yeah, last week they sent us the box, and we filled their trees that we're going to sell them with, and we're sending it back to their facility to plant on their lands. And from their lands, they're going to take their boxes, put it in the recycling bin of their office in Morrilton, and then take it to their mill. So it's full cycle. So every tree that they plant, and we buy boxes from them. I thought it was a great relationship of boxes and trees and boxes. And if the tree planters don't burn the boxes, they'll make it back in the mill.
Yeah.
So,
which they usually do.
They usually burn them, but they were told specifically not to do it.
So they're saving the
boxes and recycle them back to their mill.
That's good.
So we can have a from baby to the product all the way back to the product and then back and forth. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it's all about.
That's right. Yep. Sustainability.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Yep. Well, we appreciate you coming. It's always fun to talk forestry. I don't get to do it as much as I would like to, but that's okay. So, guys, if y'all want to go check out IFCO Seedlings, if you're in the market for seedlings and you need some to be, for your property or something like that, definitely give Jeff a call. Also, if you're in the market for land, come give us a shout. Call us at 936-295-2500 or come to our website, HomeLandProp.com. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you all again here soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.